Hi everyone, Dali's here. First of all, I'm sorry that I'm stuffed. I just have really bad allergies today. Today it's going to be our first technique challenge of art journaling, and we are going to be using an amazing freebie by Miss Miriam Ping Reptile Designs. I am very excited about this. I'm also be using for a sample two of her papers from the I Believe in Miracles kit. This first one that I'm using as a background, it is the wood grain, and then I'm gonna be using this gray one just to show you a few ways on how to use mask, because that is our technique challenge for the next 2 weeks. So these next 2 weeks you get to use this wonderful freebie. It has 2 different masks. Let me show you. This one with a really cool harlequin design, and the other one is this gesso one, which I really like. Well, I like both of them, but this is so yummy with texture. So let's start by, sorry about that. Let's start with the harlequin design. A lot of people, what they usually do is that they would use a mask and they would just drop a picture on top of it and just use it as that. And that is a perfectly great use for a mask. But we are going to talk about using it for different purposes. And for some reason my machine is really slow, so bear with me. Okay. We're just going to be using first the black mask. See if it lets me. Okay, so here we are with the black mask. One of fun way to use mask is that you don't necessarily have to put it smack in the middle of the page. In this page, I see this wood grain, but I would like to make kind of like a vignette look without being very obvious. So I'm just going to add more texture to this wood. So what I'm going to do is I drag my mask wherever I feel like it's gonna add a good texture. I really look like this harlequin pattern, so I'm gonna add maybe some there, and then right now I'm gonna do a Command J or Control J if you're on a PC to duplicate, or you can right click and say duplicate, or right click and copy and paste, and then I'm gonna keep working it. I'm gonna try to do like a border. I'm duplicating again. Maybe here I want more covered. And this is a very harsh in this moment, the black. So you could go to the opacity level and you could lower that like that. And then let's do, instead of copying the one that I just lowered the opacity, I'm going to copy one of the ones previously so I don't have to mess up with the opacity again. Because I want now to have something a little bit darker here in the corner. And then I'm going to copy and paste again. Oops, sorry. Let's have a copy and paste with a Command J for the Mac. Here. And then another Command J. Let's say then instead of this small pattern, since I already used it here, I want to use the large pattern. You could go here to Edit, Transform, and you can do a horizontal flip. That's just going to flip this mask in particular. And now you see you don't have the same, it's not the same look. So it doesn't look like you're just copying and pasting, which is truly what you're doing. The same here. If I put it here, it kind of looks very alike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the edit, transform, and this time we're going to flip it vertically. Just wait for it, and then there it is. Oops. You know why that happened? Because I picked on the bottom. If you drag outside of your canvas, sometimes it would just not recognize that you placed it in a position that it's correct, and it will just put it back where it was. Now I'm gonna grab this one that had the lower opacity, and I'm gonna bring it over here, and this time I'm gonna click outside, and you see how the mouse pointer changes, and then I'm gonna rotate it. That looks about right, and then you click enter. It's gonna keep down, and I just want that little soft look there. Okay, this is what I have right now. If I were to use this gray paper on it, I would have to, put it on top of the first one and then do a Command Option J, Command Option G, sorry, to mask it. And look, right here is mask. That's how, but then I would have to copy it again and do the same again and do the same again. Instead of going through all that trouble, what I'm gonna do is after I am happy with what I'm looking at, which I think this is too harsh, so I'm gonna lower a little bit the opacity. After I'm happy with all the changes that I have done, well, that's why it's so dark. There's a few copies of it in there. Okay. So we're gonna lower the opacity that. And we are going to lower the opacity just a tiny bit. Just so you have a few fluctuations. Everything is not looking the same. Just lower some a lot, lower some a little bit, just to your liking. After you have it all done, what I usually go is I grab all of my layers, clicking the Shift key here in the Layers palette, and then I do Merge Layers. What is this going to do is going to get you all those layers in one layer. And now if you come and drop a paper, which I already have here in my palette, and put it on the top layer, and you will do a Command Option G, this is the look you get. You're using that paper with those masks to create more texture. And I actually like that. So I'm gonna do a Command E to merge my paper with my mask that I created, that border mask that we just created. And now I'm gonna play with the blends. We could go a little bit dark, use the darken one, use the multiply. I kind of really like the multiply. Color burn. Oh, that is grungy and delicious. And you could go linear burn, which is a really good look. I really like this one for like a Halloween. And if you think, yeah, that's way too dark, but I kind of like how transparent it looks, remember to use your opacity. Opacity slider is your friend. So that is really nice. But let's keep looking. You can keep looking and changing them and see what likes. If you do a screen, it kind of goes a little bit lighter. That looks like you added some gesso to it with the color dodge. You could do, see how using the overlay just brings up the pinks here in this corner. So this is more of let's play and see what we get kind of look. Let's say that you say, oh, you know what, I kind of like this one, but here, this mask just came down too much. Easy. You could go and use your erase button. I seriously don't use my erase button that much because after you erase it, unless you go back on the history, you really lost that part of the image. I go over here and I click on my add layer mask. This is I think Photoshop Elements 9 and above, or CS option. So you're gonna go here in, let's do a brush. Right now I have just a medium-sized brush, a soft brush with an opacity of 20. I'm gonna get it to something a little bit higher so I don't bore you just by deleting stuff. And I'm gonna come here with my black ink and I'm gonna delete a little bit of that. So this one is a very subtle look. From this, we went to this. Very, very subtle. Again, depending on the blending mode that you can put, it's the look that you will get. Let me wrap it up in this video here and we'll use the gesso one in the next one.